What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today once again we've got some more Destiny 2 topics to round up and discuss, and quite a variety of subjects in this one. So in the Warmind DLC there's a new mention of the Queen's brother, or Prince Uldren, and it seems Bungie may be hinting towards where he is and also what he's up to. On top of that, I did also want to go over a bunch of faction specific loot and actually some really cool stuff. So not those super boring weapons which I mentioned in a video a few days ago. There's a bunch of actually exotic items tied to each faction exclusively. We're also going to be talking about the next patch update coming soon and what's inside it, what's being changed and fixed, and loads more miscellaneous bits and pieces. So like always, feel free to hit the thumbs up button down below if you want to support this channel and if you enjoy the videos. And of course, without further ado, let's jump into it. So we're going to begin with the Queen's brother, or Prince Uldren, what he's up to, where he is, and a small hint inside this expansion which kind of may give some info on that. Now up until this point, all we knew is that after the battle outside the Dreadnought, when Oryx basically destroyed the entire Awoken fleet, he crash landed somewhere on Mars, and then after that he went to form some kind of pact with the Fallen, the House of Kings, and he may be friendly with them. I'm not sure what he's doing, if he's building an army or if he's going to backstab them, but Prince Uldren is kind of allied with the Fallen. On a separate note, there are a ton of hints and things inside Destiny 2 where they all kind of point in the direction of maybe us befriending and being allies with the Fallen. I'm not sure if they'll follow through with it, but Bungie have definitely laid the groundwork with a ton of hints suggesting the possibility we could befriend the Fallen and maybe like work with them. You might remember in the Enemy of My Enemy questline for the Rat King, you have a choice of killing this knight or a captain that are fighting each other, and if you kill the knight, the captain, the Fallen captain, doesn't harm you and he kind of leaves by himself. Again, there are a bunch of other quotes and dialogue and lore tabs that also hint the idea, but either way, that is what Prince Uldren is up to. He's abandoned the Reef and abandoned the Crows, his army of kind of spies, and he seems to be doing something with the Fallen. But now inside Destiny 2 on this Mars expansion, there's a crashed ship inside this lost sector, which some of you might have seen, and even though most of it is buried under rubble, you can see it does look very similar to the ship he was flying initially when he crash landed on Mars. So the ghost says how it's a crashed ship that bears some Fallen insignia, which again might hint that he's working with the Fallen if he's flying a Fallen ship. And then the ghost says that it did belong to Prince Uldren. Wonder what he's doing on Mars. Do you think he knows about Rasputin? Now the strange thing is that in Destiny 1 it did detail where on Mars he crashed. So it says in this Grimoire card that he crashed in a place called Athabasca, which is of course a real place on real life Mars, but it's actually a completely different area to this place, Hellas Basin, where this DLC takes place. So either Bungie kind of scrapped that detail from the old Grimoire card, seeing as it's the only opportunity we're going to go to Mars, so I guess they might as well throw it here, or maybe he actually did crash land in the other place and then allied with the Fallen, got this Fallen ship, and then crashed here again. Maybe he crashed here twice. Maybe he's just that bad at flying ships that he crashed all the time, but either way, it's a pretty weird thing going on. We also do know the Queen of the Reef is alive. She is 100% not dead. Bungie kind of confirmed it multiple times on accident, sometimes deliberately, and just by the cutscene in general, it was very vague, so you kind of assume she was still alive, but she is definitely still going to be in the game. And we know from the Destiny 2 ending cutscene that plans out the locations of every DLC, the next place is the Reef. So we had Mercury, and then Mars, and the Reef, and then there's the Titan / Dreadnought / Saturn one. So at this point, everything does line up to kind of indicate this next September DLC, the Comet one, or Taken Queen, is actually going to be in the Reef around the Fallen with the Queen and her brother. It also makes sense for them to throw an Easter egg about this into this DLC, kind of teeing up the next one. And even though I played the DLC, I didn't play any story content or see any cutscenes or see anything like that, so I have no idea where the DLC is set or who the enemy is or who's involved. That is purely my guessing. We don't know anything about the story details. But either way, Prince Uldren is definitely up to something strange with the Fallen, and also the Queen is aware of it. She's approved of what he's doing. It also makes sense because the Fallen are hardly even in Destiny 2. They have the littlest part to play. They weren't in the vanilla game, obviously not in Curse of Osiris and not in the Warmind DLC. So the Fallen are definitely long overdue for a big appearance in this game. We've obviously seen the new faction, the House of Dusk, the purple faction in Destiny 2. So it kind of makes sense. We'll probably see something of them soon, and maybe Prince Uldren with some friendly Fallen. But of course, that's all speculation. Let me know your thoughts and theories down below in the comments. So moving on, let's talk about a whole bunch of exclusive faction loot, exotics, ornaments, all that kind of stuff. So a few days ago, I showed off in a video a bunch of the new Season 3 faction rally weapons. They all look pretty boring and uninteresting. They're of course reskins like usual, but the worst part is the perks are very average. Now we know faction rally is on hiatus while Bungie do a massive overhaul, and they're changing how it works at its core. But as well as that, we can also see a bunch of things that make faction rally seem a lot more interesting and make it definitely worth playing. So we have no idea when the next faction rally is. It could be a few months away, but either way, we can see a bunch of new loot. So all these items I'm going to show are exclusive to certain factions, and you get them by pledging to them. So as far as we know, there could be more stuff, but so far we can see an exotic armor ornament for each faction, also an emote, and an exotic catalyst. These of course turn exotic weapons into masterworks with new perks and stat bonuses. So Future War Cult has an ornament for the Eye of Another World Warlock helmet. You can see it's kind of blue with the giant solar eye in the middle. It's called Gaze Beyond Worlds. They also have an emote called Sign of the Future. Obviously we can't preview it, but you can see generally is doing something with his hand pointing or doing some kind of gesture. And their exclusive catalyst is for the Sunshot. That's the only place you can get this from, pledging to Future War Cult. This one gives you of course multi-kill orbs, also shows the kill counter, but the main bonus is plus 30 range and plus 20 stability, so really good bonuses for the Sunshot. So for new Monarchy we have Blazing Hearth, which is an ornament for the exotic Titan chest crest of Alpha Lupi. We can't actually see a preview of this, it's got no icon just yet, so again it's temporary. This is what's inside the database so far. Their emote is called Hail the Monarch, so some kind of hand gesture, and their exotic catalyst is for the Sweet Business. So this one is where when the weapon is fully spun up, so it's firing max RPM, the flinch this incoming is greatly reduced, so you're gonna have basically a really hard time flinching anyone with this weapon. And then now for Dead Orbit, their exotic ornament is Predestination. This is for the Knucklehead Radar, so finally this gets an ornament. This is one of my favorite helmets. I exclusively use it in PvP because it's just so good, and I'm glad to finally have an ornament for it. Although it doesn't look crazy different, I'm hoping it actually changes it in a good way. I mean, from the icon it just looks like it's got a shade on it, so I'm hoping it does look pretty different in the game. Their emote is called Iraq Greeting, so again not sure what he's doing there, but it's some kind of emote. And then the exotic weapon catalyst you can only get from Dead Orbit is the Graviton Lance. So I can already see a bit of bias here. Graviton Lance is possibly the best weapon in the game right now. It is very good, so I think Dead Orbit are going to be winning this faction rally. The bonuses for this one, in addition to the orbs and the kill counter, is plus 20 range, which is pretty good. Also plus 15 aim assist, also quite good. And on top of that, the free perk of Hidden Hand, which further boosts the target acquisition. So this weapon is just going to be a laser beam. It's going to stick onto targets, be really good to aim, and just have really good range. So honestly, I'm really happy with this. I love that there are exclusive items you can only get from one faction. I'm really hoping they make it so you can only pledge to one faction on all your characters, so just account wide you can pledge to one. We've already seen in Destiny 2, it's just pointless. You have 3 characters, you pledge to all 3 and you always win. So there's no choice, it doesn't matter. But imagine if you could only choose one, you would genuinely care about who you pledge to, and it would be a big decision, and you actually care who wins as well. Now I'm not sure if Bungie are going to do this, but they did list out a bunch of goals they want for the Season 3 faction rally. They said pledging to a faction should be a meaningful choice, which hopefully means you can only choose one. They said rewards should not be time gated, which obviously was a Season 2 thing, where the first faction rally you got some items, the next one a few more, the next one even more. Didn't make much sense. They said faction rally should provide a unique gameplay experience and not simply a reward layer on top of the existing game, which is a really huge one. So maybe faction rally gets its own actual activity or its own version of one, and not just do patrols or do Crucible and get tokens. They also said the event should grant additional insight into faction lore and goals, which is good, and it should build upon player interest in lost sectors and armor ornament objectives. So it seems like a lot of pretty good changes are on the way for faction rally. Now as well as that, we have a bunch more items, these relating to Iron Banner. So this isn't cancelled, and there probably will be one at some point in the month or maybe a few weeks from now. But we have an Iron Ornament bundle, which appears to be a package from Eververse. This one contains a weapon ornament for the Fighting Lion, also 2 gleaming boons from the Crucible and 1 fighting medallion. The Fighting Lion is this one, the Lupus Visage. Now there's also the Iron Emote bundle, which can drop Iron Lord emotes, so it appears going to be multiple Iron Banner emotes. Now there's actually an Iron Banner exotic emote, so this one's called the Salute of the Lords. Again, don't know what it does, but it's probably something cool and holographic. Maybe plunge a sword into the ground or have a bunch of wolves come after you. I personally highly doubt they would have this exotic emote inside the Eververse bundle because it wouldn't make any sense. The same way the factions and the new raid layer have their own emotes that aren't inside Eververse, this one probably won't be either. So I'd imagine you can get a few legendary emotes inside this bundle, but the exotic one is probably only from Iron Banner games. Again, how it's dropped, I don't know. It could be a quest or just a random RNG thing. But either way, it's cool to see this sort of stuff. Bungie have definitely, without a doubt, taken a bunch of stuff from Eververse and put them into the game as endgame rewards. Pretty much every single endgame activity has exotic ghosts and ships and sparrows, so this is really cool to see. Now, things that do appear to be inside Eververse, you can see the Destructive Research Bundle. This one contains a weapon ornament for the Polaris Lance. It seems to be time gated, but this of course is a guaranteed way when she sells it to get the ornament. There's also the Sleeper Bundle, which gives you the Sleeper Simulant ornament. There's the Braytech Bundle, which gives you a legendary ship, sparrow, ghost shell, and also 10 Clovis Bray shaders. And finally, the Boons of the Bray Bundle, which gives you 3 prototype engrams, so bright engrams, and 1 gleaming boon of the Vanguard. So a bunch of items that I found inside the database I thought you guys would find interesting. So moving on, there's going to be a new hotfix for the game addressing a few issues called 1.2.0.2. The main bonus of this is to fix the Rat King issue, which hopefully they're going to do on time. They still don't know for sure, but it's aiming to be on the 15th of May. So at some point on Tuesday, the weekly reset, they should hopefully push out this patch, and they're trying to aim to have this Rat King bug fixed. Obviously, if you don't know, the Rat King is disabled inside the game. You cannot use it, you can't put the weapon on, and it's basically taken out. This is because you can cheese the weapon and use its perk on other weapons like a rocket launcher and get an infinite amount of rockets. So they took it out before the raid, so it kind of stops people using it. In terms of other known issues inside this patch they're looking to work on as well, firstly is the clan XP milestone rewards. So sometimes you don't get powerful engrams when doing your XP milestone. They also tried to fix the Crucible Matchmaking so that solo players weren't always matched against full stacks of 4. Now when they put this in on Tuesday with the DLC and the update, it caused even more issues. They actually disabled it and they're going to try and enable it again soon. There's also a bug with the strike where sometimes it will pop up and give you the name of the strike instead of the actual heroic strikes. I said it before, but don't launch a strike if it tells the name of the strike, because it won't count as heroic. That means it won't count for your sleeper quest and it won't count towards your milestone for heroic strikes. Make sure at the bottom when you click launch, it says heroic strike playlist, not the name of the actual strike itself. There's also a bug where you get stuck joining allies. There's another one for gunsmith mods where sometimes you just can't trade them in for the legendary versions. Like I've got stacks of 3, 4, and 5, but I can't trade them in, so that's a bug as well. There's also some stowed emblems not showing up in the emblem collection, the shadow dance and salute emotes, and the robes of Sekris, which for the warlock don't have any robes in them. So yeah, expect some of those things to be inside the new patch 1.2.0.2, and it should hopefully again be on Tuesday with the reset. So that's going to do it for this video. Of course, I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you want to support this channel, then a thumbs up down below would be much appreciated. As always, got a bunch more videos on the way to this channel, so make sure you are subscribed if you're new and you won't miss out on my videos. But until then, if you want to watch another video from me, you can click this image on screen right now. But of course, I appreciate all of your support. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you all in the next one.